All right. Today's session is all about my book that I'm currently writing. I am super pumped about it, and I simply want to give you an update, share the status. I'm going to explain in this session here what inspired me to write the book, what I'm writing about, and then how my writing process looks like. Before we dive in here, I want to explain why I'm not here with my co host, Jason. So, normally, every Thursday, we have the It Depends fitness show, and me and former online fitness coach, what I'm saying, former fellow online fitness coach from Hawaii, is tuning in with me. Today, however, he cannot show up. In fact, he is in court. Now, as far as I'm concerned, he hasn't done anything wrong, but he is there to do his jury duty, and therefore he cannot be here with me today. We will be back next week, however, and I think next week's topic is going to be how to get in shape when you're 40 or older. Okay, so if you're 40 or older and want to know how to get in shape, how to build muscle and lose body fat, then make sure you tune in next week when we're back with the It Depends Fitness Show. Now, let's talk about my book. First and foremost, my book is not done yet. Okay, it's currently in the writing and it will be released in 2022, more specifically in June of this year. It is called The High Performance Body, and I want to share with you what inspired me to write a book in the first place. Now, in order to understand why I'm writing a book, you need to understand my story. And maybe you've heard about it already somewhere on social media. I've talked about it fairly often already, but I'm going over it as quickly as I can. So I'm trying to keep it short. Um, yeah, the short version of my story and what actually inspired me to write the book is as followed. It started actually 8 years ago when I was in Switzerland. I was working in online marketing at the time. I had family and friends all in Switzerland. I would work out a lot. In fact, I would probably spend all my free time at the gym working out. And I decided to take some time off from work. I wanted to travel. I traveled various places, United States. I traveled to, I don't even remember. I think it was Bali and then Australia. I stood in Australia for 3 months. And I mentioned Australia because what happened there is actually very important here in the story. When I was in Australia, I met a girl and I fell in love with this girl. She is Brazilian. And because we fell in love, we tried this long term relationship. So, me from Switzerland, she from Brazil, we met in Australia and we decided to give it a go. And it worked for a while. Okay. It worked, believe it or not. So, she would visit me in Switzerland. I would visit her in Brazil. Everything okay. Obviously, we had our ups and downs. And after a while, I mean, a long distance relationship is not easy to keep up. So we decided to kind of end it or pause it, whatever you want to call it. What happens next is what literally changed my entire life. So 3 months later, after I visited Brazil, we went to Rio. She calls me and she informs me on the call. I mean, she's crying and informs me that we are going to be parents. And I remember it was evening. I was lying in my bed, and I was just overwhelmed. Imagine this situation. Imagine the situation. So you have your life here. You have everything here, your job, your family, and friends, and now you get a call from the other side of the planet, and you're told that you're going to be a parent. This moment, this obviously changed my entire life, and many questions went through my head. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to Brazil? Is she coming to Switzerland? Are we even co-parenting, or what's going to happen? Just question over question, and it was just totally overwhelmed, totally overwhelmed. Um, you know what happened next? Probably, I emigrated to Brazil and decided to start a new life there. This was in 2018. So I leave everything behind, literally everything. I go to Brazil, have my 3 pieces of luggages with me, and I go to Brazil. I kind of settled down there. So we were looking for an apartment. I still had to organize everything, insurance and the visa and whatnot. We had to buy a lot of things for the baby. So all of this happened just like a few weeks before the arrival of our daughter. Um, it was also the first time we actually lived together. Okay, the first time we actually lived together for longer than 2 weeks, and then the baby comes. Now, even thinking about it, dude, like so much change at once. It's like a new country. It's like a new language. Fatherhood. You live with your partner for the first time. New apartment, car that I had to organize. No more friends around. Just like everything new, basically a new life. And I didn't know anything. I couldn't speak Portuguese, and was a lot of change, and a lot of challenge. Actually, a lot of challenge. What's more is, unfortunately, Gabriela, she also suffered from the postpartum depression, which didn't make it any easier, right? And because of this situation that was actually quite overwhelming, combined with the mental health problems, I would call very often my friends in Switzerland and ask for advice, inform them what's going on, what I'm struggling with. And somehow they were surprised. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that I also inspired them in a way, because, find someone who leaves everything, everyone behind for your not born yet daughter. And everything I went through there, including like the depression and learning the language, and like just everything I went through, it was obviously super interesting for my friends in Switzerland and for my family in Switzerland, and they wanted to know everything. But I am there, not really in a, you know what shall I say? I cannot say not in a happy position, but just like so many challenges. It was kind of not lost. I was just like overwhelmed. It's as simple as that. I was completely overwhelmed. Now, I asked, no, when I was on the call with a friend of mine, and I spoke what's going on, the challenges we were facing with the relationship, and with the baby, and with little sleep, and with work, and my side hustle, gym performance, and my full-time job, and just so much that was going on. And said, man, I have no idea how we do that. And your story is so inspiring. You should write a book about it. And I'm just like, yeah, I probably should. I probably should. I should probably write everything down and write a book about it. And obviously, this was just an idea. Obviously, I didn't write everything down, because I was not in a position. I was not able to write the book back then. I was overwhelmed, had so many things going on. Obviously, no, I couldn't imagine writing a book to this entire mix. Now, 3 years forward, I'm returning from Brazil to Switzerland, basically as a new person. I now have my own business. I am a family father. I'm in the best shape ever as a father, as a business owner, and I grew so much in these 3 years I spent in Brazil. I literally turned adversity, this one call that was shocking for me, I'm going to be a parent, into opportunity. So I could like live abroad, work abroad, build and scale my own business, build a family. And I came back as a complete new person. I think that's safe to say. And now I'm willing to share this entire story. And I wrote it all down in the book. I feel I'm ready to share the entire story with all the ups and with the downs and what I've gone through, what I experienced there, and then of course how I could keep up my fitness whilst being a father and a business owner, or maybe whilst being an overwhelmed father and an overwhelmed business owner, right? So this is what it's about. It's basically 4 chapters. My book contains, first and foremost, my story in more detail. So this was like just like as short as it gets. Obviously, there was so much more going on, and it's hard to describe what we went through as a family. But I wrote it all down in my book, from growing up, my background in IT, or not knowing what I wanted to do, to working in online marketing, to eventually start my own business, becoming father. Everything is in there. Okay, so my entire story. And that's probably the biggest chapter of my book. Then we have the second chapter, which is about nutrition. So, how I eat, what I recommend you, why hardcore diets are not the best way. It's just like everything about nutrition, and why I go now from my story to nutrition, I cover in a second. Then we have a third chapter about training, basically what I do, what you should be doing, cardio versus weight and all that, what I had to change when I was father and I could no longer work out for 2 hours a day in the gym. So everything I learned there, and just the most optimal way to work out when you're tight on time. Okay. And then we have a chapter on mindset, exactly what I did back then when I was in this really, really dark place, what helped me to push through, and all the things that I do today in order to just continue growing, to continue working on my business, continue to be a good father. Pretty much everything I do on a daily basis, and what I think, what I do, you can find there in the book. So it's kind of a fitness book, right? But it's also a self-help book. And with it, you can literally learn how to eat and train on a very busy schedule. Okay. Because again, it shows what I do and my experience and what I learned over the years from being this gym freak who was literally living in the gym. Now, being a father and a business owner, I no longer have this time. So, what did I change? How did I adapt? And especially, how did I still get those fantastic results? Okay. With the book, you can even learn how to build a six pack. So, I explain how to set up your own diet, how to set up your own workout program, and everything. And besides that, everything you need just to perform really at a very high level. So where it's like journaling, morning routine, and everything I do on a frequent basis, you will find there in the book. Now, why is it called the high performance body? Um, Relatively easy. We all strive for high performance, right? We want more money, we want more wealth, we want to be the best dad possible, we want to be better than average, we want to perform well in our job. And while all that is great, I think there's one big thing that tends to be neglected, and that is health. That's health and fitness. Because without your health, without your fitness, really nothing else does matter, right? And I even had to learn it the hard way. I mean, I'm a gym freak again. I love to work out, and eating healthy is part or has been part of my life for 15 years or so. But still, while I was there in Brazil, living the life, right? Living and working abroad through the internet, just became a father. I had a good life. I mean, I had a pool, we had a little gym, we had security. Life was great. But in those times of difficulty, when you're just stressed out and your health declines, for me in, it was not really the physical health. It was more like mentally we struggled again. Postpartum depression and all that, we struggled. And then you realize, man, everything else you have is worthless. And we can take that even further and say, okay, if you're having your own business, if you're having two cars and a beautiful house at the lake, or if your health is not in check, then all of that is worth nothing, right? So the high performance body is really the foundation, and everything that is built on that needs to have a foundation, because without the foundation, without health, everything is nothing, right? But if you have this good foundation, if you have the high performance body, you can A, perform at your highest level, and B, you can sustain that level. And this is something I see a lot of times, that someone, yeah, is highly successful, but he cannot sustain it because he's just working all day long and it burns out. And yeah, I was there too. Like I was at this point, right, where I, flirted with overtraining, when I flirted with burnout probably too. And yeah, this is really what I want to teach and give to you guys, how to build this foundation. What do we need to do in order to get resilient and to be ready for whatever challenge comes in life, right? So yeah, in short, the high performance body, my book, it will teach you to look good. So physique wise, how to train, how to eat, but also how to feel good. Like everything you can do to make sure that your mind is in check. All right. Because it's, in my opinion, the most important thing. And following the steps I teach in the book, you will have this foundation for literally anything, whatever success means to you. Maybe it's being the best father, maybe it's scale up your business, start your own business, become the best chess player, whatever it is. If you follow these rules, I guarantee that you have a great foundation for whatever is to come. Okay. Yeah, super pumped about it once again. It's been a fun journey so far. I want to talk about my writing process for a minute here, because writing a book is actually pretty simple. It's like you write every day a little bit, and if you're consistent with it, then you have your book ready, right? It's pretty easy, but in reality, that's a bit different, because it requires a lot of discipline, and you need to have a game plan, exactly like in fitness, right? There you need to discipline. There you need um, the discipline, and you need to show up, and you need to have a game plan. And it's so funny. Like once again, everything I learned from fitness, I apply to another area of my life. I did this with my business. Now I did it with my book, and I can see, okay, it's working. Super funny. What I do is I committed to write every day 45 minutes, and I do this first thing in the morning. So no social media, no notifications, just have a clear mind. Obviously, I cannot always do it. Sometimes my daughter is awake already, or I bring her to the daycare or whatnot. Sometimes I just don't feel like writing. This happens too. Sometimes, on the other hand, I feel like writing and I do a little bit more than 45 minutes. But usually, just after 45 minutes, I say, okay, stop, and I move on with whatever is planned for the day. Now, is this the best way? I'm not sure. I doubt it. I think sometimes it would make more sense just to carve out 5 hours a day or just 2 weeks and then just write until it's done, because then you're in the flow. It's probably easier. However, I mean, I want to serve my clients. I have other projects I'm involved in, and yeah, like just writing for 2 weeks straight or whatnot, I cannot do. And honestly, I'm also not very keen on it. I think in my situation, that's a pretty good solution. And yeah, I want to give you a status of where I'm at right now. So basically, basically, I'm already done with the book. Now I cannot publish it yet because it needs still a lot of work. But basically, the first draft is done. And just a few days ago, I started editing my book. Now, it turns out editing the book is actually more time consuming than writing it. Like, I didn't expect that. And it's a good learning there too. Um, when you edit the book, because I started writing it 3 or 4 months ago, you go over it and you see like the breaks because you worked on it multiple days or in different weeks. Sometimes it's maybe more a formal way of writing, and then other times it's more a conversational style. And these I have to align now, right? These I have to align that is the flow is okay. And then of course sometimes I feel like, dude, what did I write there? Like, this is something that nobody wants to know. And then other times I feel like, okay, I need a little bit of a extension here. So this is where I'm at right now in the editing phase, and I expect the phase to go on for at least 2 more months. And then I will have to proofread it, finalizing the book. And then in June, I do some marketing. And in July, I will, or end of June actually, I want to launch it. That's the plan for now. And so far, I'm good at sticking to it. So everything good so far. And yeah, I want to just keep you posted on that. Wanted to give you a little insight because it's a journey, right? It's a really enjoyable journey. And again, what is so fascinating for me is I can take so many things I learned in the gym, like the discipline, and the commitment, and then I put that into another project. Here, for example, the book, and it works too. Now, I want to thank you at this point for tuning in, and as a little thank you for your interest, I'm giving away 10 books. Okay. All you have to do is to go on thehighperformancebody.com, enter your email, and with a little luck, you get the book for free. So 10 books I will send out for free. If you're someone who wants to improve their life, to get in the best shape possible and improve their mindset, then this is a good book for you. Okay. Once again, go over to thehighperformancebody.com, enter your email there, and you will have the chance to win a free copy of my book. I think that's it for now. Again, it's quite a journey. I'm super excited about it still, and I think that's a good sign. It will be packed with knowledge, packed with wisdom that I could gain in the last 5 years. I would say everything from becoming a father, how to transition from being this gym freak to working out 5 times a week, 45 minutes a day, no more, from being obsessed with food to sticking to a diet template. So everything covered. Again, if you want to improve your health, if you want to have a good foundation, if you want to do something for your mindset, then that's going to be a good book for you. I promise. I will not let you down. Okay. So, what more? Yeah, maybe If you want to see some more behind the scenes, then it's worth following me on Instagram, because sometimes I post some parts of the book in my stories. I'm going into some topics, or just like explain what I'm currently writing about. So far, I've gotten good feedback on it. You can follow me on at Gym Performance, and that's it for now. So stay tuned. June 2022, my first book, The High Performance Body. And with that being said, wish you a great afternoon. No, wish you a great evening, and talk to you very soon.